conditioned. That because it has been. I've been spraying it with my, let's see, cat shampoo. I did a review about that. I did a video about it. It seems like it's going pretty well. I've also been restoring it. I put a number of hours into this. And today, well, yesterday night, I finally thought I finished sewing it. I think I did almost. Today, when I woke up, I saw this and I thought, hey, this looks like it can use some leather conditioner. You guys know I have leather conditioner because I was restoring my Ugg boots. Now, the lighting here isn't that great. I don't know how the quality here is, but this side has been conditioned, this side hasn't. This cuff has been conditioned, this side hasn't. Now, when you look over here, you guys see how it's like one smooth piece? If you look here, it's not so much. It doesn't move so fluidly. And that's because this side is nice and supple. This side is more, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's more rough. So I'm going to condition this side. I've already conditioned this side. I've gone at it once, twice, and then did a fine layer afterwards. I'm probably going to condition this twice. Now, I would not recommend trying not to over condition. However, keep in mind this coat is about 40 years old. I feel, hey, if this thing hasn't been moisturized in about 40 years, this is the time for me to do it. Let's see if I can remove the cuff. So this one, can I remove the cuff? Okay, there we go. Oh, there's a string here. Dang it. They sold this side. So this side, the cuff is has to stay on. The other side, the string has been, has fallen off. So over here, I gotta sew it. All I do is I get the leather conditioner and I just spray it into a rag. You can use an old t-shirt cut up, which is something that I did. This is the leather conditioner that I have over here, Weiman's leather. I bought this from Marshall's. It was on clearance for $2. The sticker fell off because it accidentally leaked inside my bag. But if you do have a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's, try and see if you can find this over there. For $2, you really can't go wrong. I feel like I've already used half of it. Part of me wishes that I bought the $3 version more. But I really don't go through leather conditioner that often. Condition maybe once a month or once a year or something like that. So let's see over here and you guys can see the difference. So I just have a rag and just blot it on here. Someone in one of my community posts were saying that they had a leather jacket and they wanted to, they thought about conditioning it. I would heavily recommend conditioning it just because if you want your pieces to last a long time, this is something that you really have to do. You don't want to have like the dried out leather look. It really shows a sign of age when you have dried leather versus if you have like more supple looking leather. I was talking to someone today and I was saying that, hey, I feel like if I keep conditioning my beat up leather products, I don't have too many right now, then people would probably say, hey, it looks like she's buying her stuff new. It's really a compliment, actually. But this coat, if you guys have followed it, it looked not so great before. And now it's looking better and better and better. See? It doesn't take much time at all. You can do this while you're watching a video, podcast. See how fast this is? Make sure you do the sides. Make sure you do the back side. This thing is sewn in the back, so I can't do it. Don't need to buy any fancy pads. There is fancy pads for it. It looks like the kind of automobile buffing pads. I had a few of those in Hawaii. Just put them in the laundry. I would use them. If they got dirty, threw them in the laundry. They still looked a little stained. I didn't care. I just kept using them. But you can just cut up an old t-shirt, which is exactly what I did over here. So this protects, conditions, and does wonders. Okay. So you can let this stay for about an hour overnight, and then get back to it. See how it looks like. This part over here. So I sprayed again over here. See? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's, see how those like little, it's not shiny. That's what I don't like about dull leather. It doesn't look conditioned. So important to do the front and the back. I don't really want to get it on the fur part too much. but in this case, I can't really avoid it. See? You want to make sure you do these edges. Just go back and forth a few times. This is super easy. And if you guys have any leather products, you really have no excuse why you are not conditioning. See how that? I don't know if it's dirt or whatnot, but I'm moving off to a new section. Squirt it again. And you can hear a Oreo cat over here. If you have any holy t-shirts, just cut them up. Use them as rags. Be frugal like that. And then you can throw the rags away or rewash them and just keep them in your like rag section, you know, for conditioning leather. If it has dye on it, like shoe polish, I would second guess reusing it just because. But something like a white leather conditioner, not such big of a deal. Okay. Corners are very, very important. You can hear Oreo over there. He just got fed an hour ago, by the way. I'm standing next to the food dish, so that's why he's just asking for more and more food. See? So that is it. This is quick leather conditioning. I don't have a timetable, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours tomorrow, whatnot. I just look at it, and all it says is just, see? Test on inconspicuous area before using, shake well, turn on nozzle, spray onto soft clean cloth, apply moisturized cloth onto the leather, which is exactly what you saw. Buff to a natural shine, contains 3 natural oils, do not use on suede, nubuck, Natuzzi brand, or unfinished leather. So you guys gotta make sure you do a spot testing. Don't get too, you know, I don't want you to do it all the way in the front and then find out, oh crap, it doesn't look good. I've already spot tested this. I've kind of figured like, hey, I think this looks fine. And it does. This hopefully helps the leather last for a number of years. It doesn't look the most flattering in this light, but keep in mind this is a 40-year-old jacket, so I can't be too critical about it. Most of my clothes is only about a couple years old. See? If you have any wallets, shoes, and before you throw away, please invest in a cheap bottle of leather conditioner. Actually, I don't want to even say cheap. Make sure you buy a quality conditioner. This is not my favorite brand to use. I usually like using, I think it's called Chamberlain's. You guys can find it on Amazon. I'll put a link below. That's the thing that I like to use, but this one works perfectly well. So the reason why I like Chamberlain's is because I usually do that for my leather bags back in Hawaii. I used to use honey leather. I didn't like how sticky it was, but honey leather has good reviews as well. Some people swear. So look up your leather conditioners, you know, figure out which one you like the best. But having a conditioner is better than no conditioner at all. And finally, I'm so sorry about mic technique. I totally forgot my microphone. And finally, if any of you guys invest in any quality leather item, I wish that they always spoke about using leather conditioning, but they don't. So if you buy anybody, let's say a nice leather boot or a jacket or a purse or a wallet, feel free, feel free to add in the extra $8, $13 into some leather conditioner, because that's the way you can definitely make sure that the product that you're giving them lasts for a number of years. Do not buy cheap leather. I don't buy bonded leather unless it's for shoes, which I don't have any. I actually take that back. I do have one patent leather shoes. I try to stick with the whole genuine, kind of like a full grain kind of leather. This being the exception. I don't know what kind of leather this is. Maybe it's a top grain. Who knows? But it was a vintage jacket, so I never had this custom made or anything like that. See? I didn't spot check under the arm. I didn't spot check anything. But I've been sewing this thing up like crazy here. I've done about 6 hours of sewing on here. I didn't want to do a stream on it. I sewed about 5 patches in a day, and I got so tired from hand sewing. I just took a break, and then yesterday I did 3 little areas. Yeah, so yeah, so all that kind of thing, right? You can spot test anywhere. You can spot test in the back, but I didn't like I saw it and I was like, it looks fine. So then I just did it in the front. You can do, back of the cuff kind of thing. I just did the whole thing. I looked at it and I was like, it looks fine, and I just did the whole thing. They only say spot test in case you damage it, but for something like this, you can kind of feel like it's a forest leather. I'm not too worried about it. Definitely looks much better than not having any leather conditioner at all. I would advise against some people, they want to cheap out and they say, oh, let me just condition it with like vegetable oils. Not good, because although you might get a result, it could end up being sticky, rancid. You don't want your things smelling. Uh, I'm, I would suggest, right? Just invest in leather conditioner. I would not be making any homemade stuff. Some people make a homemade tallow leather conditioner with beeswax. For me, you could do that, but that's not my thing. You guys know, right? I have beeswax here. I have tallow. I have like 4 pounds of tallow over here, and I don't want to make that kind of stuff. I just, for this kind of stuff, it's so much easier for me just to spray and go rather than say, like, okay, let me make sure I have a good beeswax tallow consistency. People do make their own leather conditioner made out of beeswax tallow, and I think some other stuff too. 6 hours? No, it's not that. It's this jacket had a lot of rips in it, so I had to hand sew it. So this thing has been around since about the 70s. And because I had so many holes in it, I had to patch it all up, because if I don't repair the rips and the tears, right, I'm going to be walking around with all this stuff. So that's why you saw me hand sewing, hand sewing, hand sewing, hand sewing. I didn't want to just do streams with me just hand sewing, because after a while, you just get, you just get so tired of sewing, 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 sewing. And finally, I think I got it all. If I didn't, right, if I have one hole or two hole, that's going to be so much more manageable to sew versus, 8, 10 holes at a time. Like, it's pretty heartbreaking when you see something like this and then you see like a large gash and you kind of think to yourself, like, someone had this for quite some time and they just didn't maintain it. So I did do some sewing around the arm area. And so far, I don't think that there's any rips. However, I do have to be very, very delicate with this jacket. Not a jacket I would wear casually on a bike, for sure. Not a jacket that I would just kind of haphazardly put on. It's something that I think it's, if I put this on or if I rip it, oh my God, I'm gonna know instantly. If I hear a rip, I know I'm gonna have to resew an area or certain areas and things like that. But I did my best that I could to restore this, the best that I could do. Combing it out, trying to put a conditioner on it without buying any leather, any fur sprays or anything like that. I tried doing the leather conditioning here. I think it looks much better than it did originally. It pops a little bit more. And I learned a great bit of maintenance from this, in terms of if you see a rip and you have a clothing item, don't just let it fall apart. If you have a leather item and it's looking a little dry, condition the thing, because what happens is that if you don't condition this stuff and you don't maintain this stuff, it gets worse and worse and worse. And when it gets worse, it gets to a point where sometimes people, they just say, I don't want to repair it. It goes from one little small rip to a huge rip, and then people say, let's just toss it. Let's just give it away. Let's just give it away to a charity shop. And the big picture about this is that, imagine if I didn't take this. Imagine if someone donated this to a charity shop with all the rips, right? You think anybody would want to wear a jacket with all these rips? Most people would not. And if someone wanted to do their own sewing, it would have been a lot of work, because it took me a lot of work. I did not do a professional job. I tried the best that I could. You can see, right? I tried the best that I could, but I didn't want to remove the lining or anything like that. And yeah, this coat, the very high chance this coat would have just ended up in the landfill, and I'm happy I got to at least save it. It's like, no, very few people, unless you bring it to a furrier or they want to repair it themselves, are going to repair it. It's just kind of like arduous work. But if they did repair it one rip at a time, right? If they had one rip in their jacket and they said, hey, let me take out later tonight or the weekend to repair my jacket, that's not going to be very hard at all. And that's maintenance for items. If you don't take care of it, eventually it does catch up. And that's what I'm trying to get at. So I don't see this as one of those things where I I focused on this jacket just trying to restore it. I don't think I can do anything more at this point. Maybe just spray a little bit more conditioner, comb it for about a minute or two, but look for more holes. But this is pretty much all. What is this? Oh goodness. Oh, here we go again. Yeah, so we got this one person over here, and they are just delusional. I hate to put it that way. You got some people on the internet, they take on this persona. They just, they rather just troll, and they rather just be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm the godfather," rather than be themselves. I hope you spend more time focusing on being yourself than being someone else, because at the end of the day, right, outside of the internet, you have to go out and interact with people as yourself. You'll look like a crazy person if you said, "Do you know who I am? I'm the Godfather." You might say it's all fun and games, but truly work on being yourself more than trying to have this persona online. It's not. It doesn't do you any justice. I've seen people in my life where they don't want to be themselves. They rather be someone else. It does them a disservice because at the end of it, right, you kind of question, do you actually know that person, or were they just faking it all along? What I mean by that is, like, some people, they try to put on this big where's the hook go? It looks like there's a hook here. Oh, here we go, I guess. Is that how it goes? I don't know. I feel like there's supposed to be a hook here, but I can't feel the hook. See this? I just noticed that. Yeah, when people aren't focused on being themselves and they try to be someone else, it's not genuine. It's a waste of your time. Focus on being the best version of yourself and move forward. Don't try to be someone else, especially not a fictional character kind of thing. Nah, people don't want to take accountability for their lives, and they don't want to just lead with who they are, because I think it's one of those personality things. They think it's more convenient to act like another person. Of course, right? It's not sustainable, kind of thing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so here's Polly over here. Oh gosh, Polly. Look at this. Who band? Here we go. I think it's Vito and Polly just going off to their alternate accounts. It's, again, right? People will double down. I don't know how old Polly is. I don't know how old Vito is, but whatever the case is, it's not good to just kind of try to fake being someone else. Okay, you guys. Oh, there's people on the internet that you'll never normally encounter because they never leave their house or their desk. And people don't want, like I said, right? People, they just don't want to show the world who they really are. I don't know if it's an insecurity thing. I think it's because they kind of think to themselves, they have like a tough guy persona, and they want to maintain that kind of thing because they feel like a man when they're, veto or whatnot. Doesn't matter. People don't remember people on the internet too much. I've come across hundreds of usernames in like forums, and every person who claims that they're, let's say, Elvis or John Wick or something like that, you kind of look at those people and you think, I wonder how they are in real life. Would they really speak like that? Most likely not. Most likely they're a person who probably doesn't take care of themselves, probably doesn't feel confident talking to other people, and they feel like their shield is to be a fictional character. See? Oh, look at this. Here's the dude. Yeah. So dude is a person. Okay, so we got a few people here. So dude is a person who put in my comment section and told the world that I have a flat chest. And yeah, good on you, dude. Good on you, dude, for telling the world I have a flat chest. I know I have a flat chest. This is getting off topic over here, but I'm gonna do what I probably should have done a while ago, which is, bye, dude. Let's see. Did dude get hidden? Aw, that's cute, dude. And then let's go ahead and Polly as well. Because you know what? My life is too short. I can't deal with the Pollys and the dudes and all the other people kind of thing. really can't. Like, I've already said my piece, and if people want to double down, I've noticed, right? It's a trifecta between Polly, Guido, and the dude just talking to themselves. And yeah, see. Hi, Polly. No, no, I'm not mean. People think that they can do whatever they want on my channel. They can't. I mean, my life is short, right? So I'm not going to deal with these people anymore. I'll say what I have to say to them and say, okay, you know, bye. Spread your negativity elsewhere. Yeah, they probably will. We probably get John Wick coming in here, Cheeto, I don't know, Godzilla over here. Just ban them, you know, just ban them. If they want to spend time making new accounts, then that's on them. I really would suggest that they find something more constructive to do with their life. Even if it's something like beating the cat, you know, that's so much better than just having this alter ego persona trying to be a tough guy. Just don't get it. Oh, Dwight, see? Look at this. Dwight, here we go. Dwight over here. Dwight. All these, like, I swear, man, is one person doing, like, several accounts or what? Let's see. Da, da, da. Thank you, Dwight, for pointing yourself out. Get a life. I know Dwight is not a real person, so sometimes I think it's better to just ignore these people, but just tell them, like, hey, be yourself. I know, I'm not gonna make several accounts kind of thing just to do one channel. It's kind of something. I hope that, well, besides learning about leather conditioning, I hope you guys just kind of thought about, you know, how you come off on the internet. And I don't feel angry at the people who make these fake accounts so much. I feel sad for them. And I feel sad that they just spend their time trying to play a persona, what they believe that persona would act to be, because they're just so insecure and probably embarrassed about themselves. They're probably angry. They could be angry that I banned them, and they'll be like, I gotta come back with a bigger character because I'll show her. But the real joke is them. And I maintain that. You guys know, right? You guys know. It's like I don't make several accounts and just try to pretend like, oh, look at me, I'm, you know, Superman, or look at me, I'm, you know, Captain America kind of thing. They're taking time out of their valuable life, and I do believe that lives are valuable, right? Just to make these frickin' personas. Don't do that. Seriously. It sounds fun in games when you're like 13, but I probably imagine that these people are older than 13. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll grow out of it, but if they don't, they'll find out that sooner or later they're gonna be significantly older, and they're gonna say, "Haha, look at me! I'm Vito, and I'm Don, and I'm the dude, and I'm Dwight," and it's not a life, you know? It's not a life to live at all. So I'm gonna get going on my day. I just wanted to show you guys this, keeping it pretty short. I was gonna keep it shorter, but what can I say? We got the multiple personalities over here, and I just wanted to talk about it, take care of it, talk about it, and